All right. You are listening. Yeah! My neighbors are probably like, what the fuck's going on?
Weirdest sex ever.
Just a lot of slapping and screaming.
Well, actually, story checks.
Yeah, alright. So you are listening to the Wandering Chronicles podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm still Jamie.
I'm the mad woman from Chicago.
Are you, like, related to H.H. Holmes?
Yeah, no.
So how are you?
I'm words. I can't.
I'm words.
I can't right now. I'm okay. In theory, I'm okay.
In practice, you're
a complete mess.
That's why we're friends.
Yep. Yeah.
Tell me of your woes, Ashley.
I had no internet. I spent 3 days in the 80s.
I thought you had shoulder pads.
I do have a sweater with shoulder pads that Gail actually knit back in the 80s. And it is by far one of my favorite sweaters.
I love that she knitted the sweater, and then added shoulder pads.
Yeah, she was going through her sweaters when they were getting ready to move, and she's like, do you want this one? Yeah, I want it. It's like pink and purple with the shoulder pads. And she hand knit it back in the day, and absolutely, I want this. No question. She's like, you can take the shoulder pads out. I'm like, I will do no such thing. I will wear it with shoulder pads, and I will be proud.
The hell I can.
Yeah, don't tell me how to wear my sweaters.
Pull this thread as I walk away,
And I'm gonna walk away.
Cool.
Well, how
fun.
are you, Jamie?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
I got a raise.
Congratulations.
I made 2 friends.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I love that for you. 2 friends,
and I'm going in public.
Such a big step. I'm so proud of you.
Unless I chicken out and cancel.
I hope you don't.
Which I haven't taken off the table just yet, but...
I know, but I hope you don't, but if you do, you do what is best for you.
I actually want this person to be my friend, so I shouldn't start by being disappointing. I should, bury the lead a little.
Flaky. You are not disappointing. Don't even start.
Tell my parents that.
I will. Look at my eyes. I got crazy eyes. I will tell them.
They have no business being disappointed in me.
No,
I'm
they don't.
In them.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Oh my god.
Oh! I don't know what that voice was. I hate myself. I don't know. I think I just reverted into my my prank caller voice.
When the enema hits.
When your voice goes up 8 octaves.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that I've been up to. I don't know. Had kind of a shitty weekend for no specific reason. Just mental health bullshit. And then it was over and I had to go back to work, which is bullshit. So I took Friday off so I could have a long weekend because I need one.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to it.
I would take a long weekend, but I took a long lunch today, and I'm taking the morning off to take Izzy to the vet tomorrow, so I'm not going to take a long weekend. Girl loves the vet.
I'm starting to think she's got a crush on the vet.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Dr. Katz is quite lovely.
I love that your vet's name is Dr. Katz.
Actually, I have 3 doctors who the name Dr. Katz.
What?
My vet is, for Izzy and Johnny is Dr. Katz.
Oh my god, please tell me your gynecologist is Dr. Katz.
It is!
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
It is,
I'm so excited right now.
So, it's Dr. Leah Katz is my vet, Dr. Paul Katz is my dentist, and Dr. Patricia Katz is my gynecologist.
Trifecta of cats.
I have the trifecta of cats.
I don't have any doctors named Katz.
Well, that's your loss, because it's awesome.
It sounds awesome.
It is awesome. I love how you were like, please tell me your gynecologist is Dr. Katz, and it is.
Both of your pussy doctors are named Dr. Katz.
Right? Nobody could have planned that. But I will say Dr. Patricia Katz, not really, because I mean...
Oh my god, she's Patty Katz. She's Patty Cats! I had a teacher in 5th grade named Patricia Wiener. And we used to joke that her middle name was Maya.
Patty Maya Wiener?
Pat Maya Wiener. Because we were in 5th grade, and that's highbrow 5th grade humor right there.
It is.
She's the only teacher I ever heard swear at us, too.
I wonder why.
It was well deserved. She told us to shut the fuck up once. I was like, okay, I will. I think we've reached the end of this rope for you.
So, now that we're done talking about pussy doctors, can we go to Anchorage? Because that's where we're
speaking
heading
of
off
pussy
to.
doctors, how was your cat sled trip?
So, I did make the joke that I was going to take a cat sled. It did not work out well. The cats were very uncooperative. Big shock, Shocker. I know. So yeah, I gave up and I just flew out there. How was the dog sled?
Fine.
Yeah, dogs very totally cooperative.
Fine. Oh yeah, you know dogs.
So we're just gonna jump into it. I don't know shit about Anchorage. Let me make that very, very clear. I really don't know much about Australia, Alaska. I am not there tonight. I'm just not. I'm in Australia talking about Alaska, which honestly sounds lovely. I'd love to be in Australia.
It's winter there. It's going into
winter. It's winter
there.
here. It's winter
here.
But
it's coming out of winter here. It's going into winter there.
Yeah, I bet Australia winter is not so bad.
I have no frame of reference. I have a friend from college that lives in Fiji, and it looks like it's perfect there all the time. And that's really close to Australia, so.
That would be lovely. Anywhere but here.
I'm jealous of her forever.
Yeah. I don't even know her, and I'm jealous of her.
She's pretty rad.
So, do you want to hear some fun facts about Anchorage, Alaska, not Anchorage, Australia?
Yeah, number 1, it's cold.
Yes. Yeah, it's cold, but not always cold. Sometimes it hits about 70 degrees there, so...
yeah, they have good summers. Cold. That's why they consistently outgrow produce-wise the farmers in Alaska, because they have a whole summer of 24 hours of sunlight or close to it.
Makes all 22 hours usually.
Yeah, so they actually get huge produce in a short period of time compared to other places in the U.S.
Hey, it sounds lovely. So I'm going to tell you a few facts about Anchorage. So... Anchorage is not only Alaska's largest city with a population of 300,000 people, but it is also the largest city in the U.S. land-wise because it encompasses 1,061 miles.
That's wild. I wonder what the largest city in the world is.
If I had to take a wild guess, I'd kind of want to say Dubai.
I was going to guess Dubai or Mexico City, because I know Mexico City's huge, too.
Those are both huge. That would be an interesting thing to find out, but... This one, to put it in perspective on how big Anchorage is, it's about the size of Delaware.
Very cool.
It's big. And you have a cat on your head. It's like a cat hat.
This is my day, like all the time. I literally
You're wearing a Nigel
like
hat. Yeah, you're wearing a Nigel hat.
He's rubbing his butthole on my head.
Oh, that's lovely. All right, so
this is my leg.
There are somewhere between 250 and 1,500 moose in Anchorage, depending on the season. Obviously, colder months have an influx of moose. And I cannot stress this enough. Influx of moose is just something weird I never thought I'd have to say.
Influx of Mises.
So, last but not least, their public bus system is called the People Mover, which I think is way better than CTA or BART.
Isn't that the name of the tram thing in Disneyland that people have died on?
Yeah, because dead or alive, people gotta move.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Seems effective.
Yeah, it does. All right, so we're going to get into a story that is recent. We're talking 2020 recent.
Oh, shit.
It is wild. There are a lot of things going on, and yet not a lot of information on any of it. There's no clear consensus on some of this stuff, and I'm going to do my best to keep it in a straight line as best as possible.
Okay.
I also need to reiterate that I was buzzed when I wrote part of this, so... I have not gone back and reread that. I don't know if any of it made sense. It may not make sense, but I have my Barbara Streisand notebook right next to me, so I have access to my notes. So Babs is here to help me.
Always
Here for the assist. Barbara Streisand.
WWBSD.
Damn right. So,
Barbara.
Let's talk about Anchorage's former mayor, Ethan Berkowitz. Not of the same family of those Berkowitzes. I had a hard time I had a hard time not thinking about them when I was...
Yeah, that's an unfortunate name now.
Yeah. Ethan Berkowitz, he was born to Jewish parents in San Francisco on February 4th, 1962. He attended Harvard, where he studied government and economics, graduating in 1986. He got his Juris Doctorate from Hastings College of Law, graduating in 1990, and upon graduating, he moved to Anchorage, where he was a practicing attorney as well as a businessman.
Okay.
Starting in 1997, he served as a Democrat in the Alaskan House of Representatives, but it wasn't until 2006 that he made his first bid for a higher office. He ran as lieutenant governor with Tony Knowles, so this is my second time talking about a governor wannabe or a governor with the last name Knowles.
That's true. That's so random.
Yeah, we had the 1967 Warren Knowles of Wisconsin.
Yeah, a.k.a. Bob.
So he ran with Tony Knowles in 2006 as his lieutenant governor, and they lost.
Okay, I'm not shocked, because Alaska going to a Democrat seems unlikely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. So he ran again in 2008. This time he ran for the U.S. House of Representatives for Alaska. He ran against incumbent Don Young. Once again, he lost.
Okay.
Not surprising. He tried again in 2010 when he ran for governor this time, with his running mate being Diane Benson. And what do you think happened?
He lost, but was that Sarah Palin's old spot?
I didn't see that. I didn't look at that one, but it probably was, honestly.
Thinking timeline-wise,
well, no, because this was for governor, but like maybe in the 2008.
She was the governor of Alaska.
Was she? I thought she was oh, okay. Maybe it was then. Maybe it was.
Yeah, she was the governor. Mm-hmm. And that would have been 2008.
Yeah. Well, 2008 he ran for the U.S. House of Representatives, but 2010 is what. But yeah, maybe that's when her term would have ended.
Exactly. She was running with McCain in 2008. They lost, but she probably didn't run again after that term ended.
Well, they do.
They have term limits.
They have it, or I think so.
Minimum. I meant term minimum.
Yeah. So he lost in 2010. Big surprise. Big surprise. I can't talk tonight.
Words are hard.
Words are so hard. So he did take a short break from running for office. In 2015, he ran for mayor of Anchorage, and fourth time's a charm because he won that race.
I'm still a little bit surprised about that, because was he still running on the Democratic ticket?
Yeah, he is a Democrat through and through.
I guess if there's any place in Alaska that's Democrat, it would be most likely Anchorage.
Yeah, I mean, it still seems like it was a shock even to them, but he obviously won them over.
Yeah, I mean, they knew he'd been trying.
Yeah, he's been trying. He also won his re-election in 2018, so they obviously liked him enough to re-elect him.
Yeah.
Enter Maria Athens, a reporter. She was a 41-year-old reporter. I couldn't find out too much about her before she went to Alaska. I know she'd worked at several news stations. She had gotten her degree from Seton Hall University in South Orange, New Jersey. She had a degree focusing on diplomacy, international relations, and political science, which seems appropriate for somebody who wants to be a journalism major.
Yeah, but it does seem... I guess I keep forgetting how close to Russia Alaska is.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it from your backyard.
Well, only in Palin.
Only in Palin's world, yeah.
Yeah, but it is really close, and I have a brother that lives in Alaska, and I know that the Air Force bases up there pretty regularly have noticed Putin rooting around. Just kind of testing the boundaries.
Well, back off, Putin.
Yeah.
So she'd worked for several stations, including some Greek stations.
But Anchorage has Greek stations?
No, this was before she came to Anchorage. She didn't start off in Anchorage.
Okay.
She was in New Jersey. She was from the lower 48.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But when she moved to Anchorage, she had worked for the Fox ABC station and was dating / possibly engaged to station manager Scott Centers at the time. So the reason I say dating slash fiance, because there were several sources that say they were dating, several sources that say they were engaged.
Okay. Serious relationship and or marriage bound somewhere in
there. Exactly. And this is going to happen a lot where several sources say one thing and several sources say something else. It's a confusing story. I'm going to try and lay it out as easily as possible. Again, there's no good ending to it, so
cool.
We're just going to stop at a certain point. We're just going to be like, all right, we're done. So
basically like the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't read that book.
Just ended. There was just like, and then it's over now.
In 2016, Berkowitz slid into her messages on WhatsApp and said that living in Anchorage had felt lonely and isolating, and that Berkowitz giving her attention made her feel, less lonely.
Had they met I'm sure they had, because she was the mayor.
And she was a well-known reporter in Anchorage. So initially, the communications were photos or cute comments, but at some point they did turn inappropriate in nature. I'm assuming sexting, and there was mention of that, but there's no way to know, as WhatsApp is encrypted, and Athens deleted all the messages before turning her phone over to the authorities. Whether the connection moved from text to physical relationship is also unknown, as it is still semi-recent case, and all of this came out in early October 2020. It does sound like their relationship ended somewhere in 2019, and it does also sound like Athens didn't take it very well.
I figured as much.
Yeah. So, and I'm guessing that you're assuming that it's not, spicy text messages that's the scandal. Because it's way more than spicy text messages.
I figured as much. It would have to be for it to involve an investigation, I would think. I mean, but I guess Clinton got impeached for cigaring a girl, so.
Yeah, when you smoke dick, you get in trouble sometimes.
Did you say smoke dick?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound good at all.
It reminds me of Euros.
So, like I said, I only found one source ultimately that said how long their relationship lasted. They indicated it had been 3 years. So if it started in 2016, odds are it ended sometime in 2019. Obviously, with the pandemic, Berkowitz was not that popular in a conservative state like Alaska. Despite being a big city, Anchorage did not like the shutdown measures that their liberal San Franciscan mayor was imposing on them.
Not shocked. I follow a vlog on YouTube of a family from Alaska, and the entire 2-year period, there wasn't nary a mask in sight. Only when they got on an airplane would you see a mask.
Ooh, yeah. Well, again, you can see how it might not win him over a lot of fans.
No.
So, now, I'm not entirely sure what happened to take the shine off Berkowitz for Athens, but there was an interview in early October of that year where she had interviewed a conservative mayoral candidate, Mike Robbins, and asked him over. As Alaska is primarily a conservative state, how did our biggest city of Anchorage end up with a liberal mayor from San Francisco? So, obviously, Athens is not a huge fan of Berkowitz anymore.
That is a good question, though.
It's a valid question, but obviously Anchorage decided to take a chance on this man. And they obviously liked him enough to re-elect him.
She did too, and she didn't like what she saw.
Yep. Well, we're about to dive into it. So,
I have a feeling there are wiener pics involved.
Actually, they're not. So, on October 8th, Athens was conducting an interview with a woman only referred to as the Cookie Lady. I did ultimately find out what her name is, but because her and her daughter both were interviewed about what happened after this interview, I'm just going to refer to her as Cookie Lady and Cookie Lady's daughter. I'm not going to say their names. I don't want to get that out there.
Also,
Cookie Lady...
They have this whole mystique as being related to Vera Kitchen now, in my mind.
Yeah, Vera Kitchen's cousins from Alaska, the cookie people. So...
You sound really good right now.
We'll be done with this soon, and you can eat as many cookies as you want.
Promise?
Yes. So I'm just gonna call her Cookie, and it will be Cookie's daughter. So Athens was interviewing Cookie.
Named Crumb.
Oh, that would be so cute. No, I didn't name her. I just called her the daughter. Just made it easier, but
it's a missed opportunity.
I did find her Twitter, which is actually used as a source because it was really interesting. But I'll get into that. Well, woman, I'm gonna call Cookie. Athens was interviewing Cookie because her alcohol-infused cookies were becoming a big hit. Yes, she made alcohol-infused cookies, and I would like recipes. So, after the interview, Athens asked what Cookie thought of Mayor Berkowitz. Cookie asked if he was short. Well, he is a shorter man. I think he's like 5'8" or 5'9". That's not super tall, but it's not short either.
It's slightly below average for...
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he's a short man. And that is when Cookie decided that Berkowitz must be the man her daughter had escorted for.
Crumble is an escort?
Crumble is an escort.
Holy fuck.
She tells Athens that Berkowitz paid underage girls for sexual favors and sent them nude photos.
This is after Athens is like, not really into you anymore.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So how do you think Athens took this?
Like a bitch. Did she
post
an expose on it, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm. Based on one woman saying something with no proof. So we're going to get into what happened, and there's a fun voicemail I'm going to play for you.
We all know never to trust someone named Cookie. I'm excited to hear what Athens did.
It's only going to get crazier from here. I don't even know what to say. So, well, I'm just going to get into this because I'm excited to share this story. It's just so wild. So, Athens was really, really, really ready to believe the story. Yeah. I mean, how could a reporter pass up the chance to break a story like this? Like, this is the kind of story you get awards for. Mm-hmm.
Is it?
For breaking a mayoral scandal? Yes.
I guess.
She'll get a goddamn Emmy for it.
Well, maybe not an Emmy. Maybe whatever Anchorage's version of an Emmy is.
Oh, God.
A burrito?
Can't wait to read this. I don't know.
She won a burrito.
She won a burrito. God, I would love a burrito. Somebody bring me a burrito.
I love how you just look behind you. God, I would love a burrito. Albert, bring me a burrito.
Chop, chop. Oh, my face hurts.
I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
Oh,
I don't know the tune to that song.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. My face hurts. I'm laughing, and I really want a burrito.
I'm so sorry that you have to edit this.
In like 3 weeks when I'm editing this, I'm not going to remember anything that was going on, and it's going to crack me up even more. And then I'm going to want a burrito. Am I right, future me? I bet you want a burrito now.
I know set an alarm on your phone. For 3 weeks it says, order a burrito. Trust me.
3 weeks later.
I definitely still want a burrito, and I forgot to set a reminder. So, past me was right. That snooty bitch. Burritos, honestly,
what day is it?
All I want. I don't even know.
I don't either. That's pretty normal for me, though.
Well, in this story, it's October 8th,
okay.
So I can tell you that much. So, this would be a really great story if it were true.
You mean the escort?
The escort, yeah. So, Cookie Lady's daughter took to Twitter after the scandal broke, and in short, she said she was an escort in 2018. She was also 18 years old at the time.
Okay, yeah. So the whole
legal.
thing about being an underage crumble.
Yeah. Yeah. She was not an underage crumble. She was legal age. She was a legal age crumble. She was an escort in 2018. She was 18 years old at the time and an escort in this true sense of the word. She never did sexual favors for people, but her mom saw an email about this and was upset.
Makes sense.
She says her mother kept asking her questions, and eventually she said she told her that her favorite client was a short man that worked for the state of Alaska. That's all she told him. Nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah. Short man, works for the state of Alaska, so he's in government.
Could be an elf for Santa.
Yeah. So when Athens asked who this guy, like when Athens asked about Berkowitz, who was mayor at the time, she asked, is he short? Well, put two and two together. He's a short man who works for the state of Alaska.
Must be.
There we go. Berkowitz is the guy
who... One.
He's the only short guy in government in Alaska, so he's obviously the one who paid for this, for her daughter to be an escort. Logic goes out the window on this one.
She's not a very good person.
So, yeah, she made this assumption, even though her daughter also through Twitter said she made this person up. This person didn't exist.
No. So
Cookie ends up telling Athens that Berkowitz is a pedophile. Now,
Cookie's got some goddamn nerve.
Cookie has some goddamn nerve, but she's also, at this point, going on information that she thought in her head was true. She's thinking her daughter was an escort for a short man in government.
But her daughter was over 18.
Exactly. But that doesn't matter. It's still her daughter. She's upset. And
but she's not a pedophile. You don't just throw that word around.
Well, Cookie goddamn does.
Cookie's got some fucking splaining to do.
Mm-hmm. Cookie needs to figure her shit out before she starts running her mouth about stuff.
Do better, Cookie.
Do better. Nice. So, interesting side note here, because this sort of does come into play, but it doesn't, but it's still interesting because Cookie Lady's half-brother is a man who has been a key symbol of opposition to Berkowitz. Early on in the pandemic, he refused to shut down his dine-in service in his restaurant. Though, to be clear, it is a coincidence that he's related to Cookie. He has nothing to do with what Athens did. It's just an interesting side note. Because after the interview...
It's just a small city is basically what's happening here.
Basically,
it's a city, but small town feel.
Everybody knows everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how St. Louis is, too.
So it was after the interview when she went with Cookie and to her half-brother's restaurant. So they go to the restaurant that was part of this whole opposition thing, where they talked further, and she ended up calling Berkowitz and leaving a pretty terrible but also like kind of epic voicemail that I will now play for you.
Cookie is the she?
No, Athens is the she.
Athens is the she.
Athens had the relationship. Oh shit!
And the audacity.
She has so much audacity. So we're gonna play this.
I have a hunch.
What was your hunch?
She's white, right?
Oh yeah. By the way, if you want to, you can look at the photos I sent you. There's a photo of both of them.
Okay.
So.
Oh.
The first one is Berkowitz,
I hate her.
and the second one is Athens. Yeah, she looks like that bitch. All right, so you ready to hear the voicemail? Let's hope it works like this, because we'll see. Okay.
Ethan, it's Maria Athens from Fox ABC CW Newsnet National Alaska. I just learned through my Emmy Award-winning journalism, you're also a pedophile and like little girls and children. And there's a website. I'm so fucking exposing you. I'm going to get an Emmy. So you either turn yourself in, kill yourself, or do what you need to do. I will personally kill you and Mara Kimmel, my goddamn self, you Jewish piece of living fucking shit. You have met your match, motherfucker. You have met your motherfucking match. I can't believe I am such a good person and thought I loved you. I don't even hate you. I will pray for your Zionist fucking ass, you piece of shit loser. And I'm putting this on the news tonight. Bye. Have a great Friday, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Somebody forgot to take their Halidol. That was intense.
Yeah. So, just to be clear on this, Mara Kimmel, Dr. Mara Kimmel is Berkowitz's wife.
Okay, I was gonna ask if he was married.
Yeah. So she threatened to kill him and his wife. They have 2 children also.
First, she told him to kill himself.
Then
she threatened to kill him.
And Mara. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was a lot going on there. So, yeah, so there's anti-Semitic stuff in there. There is death threats in there. She accused of being a pedophile. There's a lot going on. But
she said she was in love with him?
Yeah. I love I'm such a good person. I thought I was in love with you. I hate you. Nope, I don't hate you. He did call her back minutes after she left this voicemail, so I'm assuming he heard this and was like, what the fuck is going on?
She's got those crazy eyes.
She does have crazy eyes.
She's staring at me. It makes me uncomfortable.
And those are that was one of her nicer photos. There's a lot of photos on there, for screenshots of her Facebook video that she posts about this later, where she looks batshit insane. Off her rocker. And also, there were accusations that she had been drunk at this interview.
She
denied it later. She denied it, but there were accusations that she was drunk, that she'd been drinking a lot. She had a DUI from October 5th.
Oh shit, she was on a bender. Yeah,
she had a DUI also in April from Las Vegas, so she was not doing well.
Because listening to that voicemail, if you had told me that voicemail was left at 3:25 a.m., I would not have been a second shocked.
Yeah.
Because that struck me as... Yeah, it strikes me as the bar is closing and I'm 12 beers
mad
in.
At my ex, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad at my ex and I'm drunk and the bar's closing, so I'm going to leave a bad voicemail.
And I didn't bring a girlfriend to the bar with me to take the fucking phone away.
Yeah. So she's at Cookie Lady's half-brother's restaurant with Cookie Lady when she leaves his voicemail. And so, minutes later, Berkowitz calls her back, and she puts it on speakerphone when he's talking, and she's talking to him, and all he says throughout the entire conversation is, I don't know what you're talking about. Repeatedly says, I don't know what you're talking about, but eventually he does hang up, because she's not making sense.
Right, and that was out of nowhere.
Yeah, so she did leave a second, shorter voicemail for him after that. Is nowhere compared to her first one.
It's probably more of the same.
So much happens in 58 seconds, but that voicemail is a lot.
And she looks, not that it matters what she looks like, but she looks like she's 40.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking old enough to know better, is my point.
She's 41 years old when this story took place.
How good am I?
Yeah, you nailed it. Says Cookie Lady was there and heard her say, I'm not sure why you called me back to record me because you're the one going to prison. Again, none of this made sense to me, but hey, I was a little bit drunk at the time, but I wasn't that drunk.
Yeah, not as drunk as Cookie Lady.
No,
not Cookie Lady.
Cookie Lady, Athens.
Well,
yeah, Maria
I think
Athens.
Cookie Lady is kind of wasted too.
She's been eating too much of her own product.
She's not making a lot of sense either.
No, she's not. And there were, again, articles where they had, images and screenshots of the text conversation between Crumble and Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
And Crumble's like, you gotta call them and take it back, because that's not true. And,
she's
fully
the
just being
18-year-old rational one.
Yeah, she's the only one who made sense in this entire story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
this gives
by
me
the way,
a sneaking
I read
suspicion that there's not much to do in Alaska.
Well, that's probably why Crumble moved to Oregon.
Good girl.
She's
to get
smart.
away from her crazy family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Crumble made the right choice. Good job, Crumble.
Yep.
Now, it was clear that the story was tenuous at best. So one person tells her a second-hand story and she runs with it. On October 9th, she posts a video to her Facebook announcing a new breaking scandal involving Berkowitz and underage escorts. In Athens' version of the story, she says Berkowitz had targeted Cookie's underage 18-year-old daughter. Again, she's 18, not underage.
Yeah, that's an
Cookie
moron.
And Cookie had never mentioned photos that he had posted of her daughter. Again, I'm not sure that makes any sense. I might have been drunk when I wrote that.
So Athens had alluded to there being photos.
Mm-hmm.
That
Athens had said there were photos, but that he had sent to Crumble, but Crumble obviously had never met him. Like, she made it very clear in her Twitter post. She's like, I've never met Ethan Berkowitz before. I don't know him. So by the time Cookie's daughter found out about this, Athens' Facebook video, since taken down, had gone viral. Like, people were harassing her, they were harassing Cookie Lady, they were harassing Berkowitz. So on Monday, October 12th, Berkowitz had still been denying the claims, but on October 13th, he admitted to the inappropriate relationship with Athens and resigned from office effective October 23rd.
Sucks.
So because he had like a sexy texting relationship with a reporter,
yeah,
he
and he
resigned,
was married,
which is like, yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it seems pretty tame.
Yeah.
But given everything that was going on, I don't blame him, considering his wife's life had been threatened and he had been threatened. Right. I would have probably done the same thing.
When you're
that sort of thing.
Politician, you're just looked at differently, under a different microscope than just the average person is.
And being the highest ranked Democrat in a very conservative and Republican state,
yeah,
they're going to jump down your throat over any little thing.
Especially during a period of time when they had reason to already be mad at him.
Exactly.
Because of the COVID.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be very clear when I say this. Both the Anchorage police and the FBI looked into these claims that Athens put out there and found no proof that Berkowitz had any contact with minors in that capacity. Cookie's daughter also made it clear that in her Twitter that she had never met Berkowitz. Never.
Jesus Christ.
So, back to the night of October 9th, she posts this video on Facebook teasing a big story and a nude photo that she claimed was Berkowitz. Athens claimed to have thousands of nude photos of Berkowitz, yet in the one photo she posted was not a salacious photo, which I believe I shared with you, but I will not be putting it on our social media. So if you scroll down, keep going, there's the photo. It's not a salacious photo. It's barely a sexy photo. It's the kind of shit you see a doctor taking.
That is among the least sexy photos I've ever seen.
Yeah, so it is...
He's got a flat ass.
He has a flat ass. But I'm just going to describe it really quickly, because the best way I can describe it is if it weren't for his nude butt in the photo, which again, it's the back of his head.
It's just
could be
a crack. Generic... There's not even a butt in there. There's no cheeks.
Yeah, you can see a crack. But like, if you were to like cut that part out, it would look like the kind of photo a dermatologist might take of your back to get a picture of a mole.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's nothing sexy about this photo.
No, couldn't be less sexy.
Absolutely not. Regardless of that, I'm still not going to post it. I don't want to further images of nude people regardless of what the situation is.
Right.
So that one's not going to get posted. If you want to look it up on your own, that's on you. I'm not posting it.
Was it for sure him though, even?
That's the thing. How are you supposed to tell? It's a guy with salt and pepper colored hair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the back of his head and his butt.
And his hairy butt crack.
Yeah. There's no way to verify it's him. Like, there's so many people out there with salt and pepper hair. There's just no way to tell that specifically is him. Yeah, it's weird, right?
The fucking thing that's weird is her comment.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the comment.
Nice try, damage control. Certainly First Lady Killer Mara Kimmel can confirm that is her husband's hairy ass and bathroom tiles. I feel bad for him. He's just getting fucking raked.
I mean, I do too, and he really didn't do anything wrong in the grand scheme of things. Like, if you compare pedophilia to sexy texting with an adult woman...
Yeah, he just interacted with a crazy person.
Exactly. he slid into the wrong DMs.
Oh man, this is so similar to something that's happening on TikTok right now.
Oh God.
I'm not going to get into the story because it doesn't matter to anyone in the world. But there was a large creator with like 3 million followers that slid into the DMs of another large creator with like 2 million, maybe 1.5 million followers. And they messaged each other for like 6 months and then hooked up. And then she lost her motherfucking mind.
Oh no.
And I don't know really what's true and what isn't. There's all kinds of rumors about him being married. Haven't seen confirmation of that. He had never posted anything about his spouse.
Sketchy.
But there are other women that he has also been engaged with that he's, like, picked up off the app. He's a huge creator. He's very popular.
Yeah.
But, which wouldn't be a problem because... You know, as long as he's being honest with everybody and they know what they're getting into, but her allegation is that that's not the case, and I believed her until she started getting weird. She's just like a stage 5 clinger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boo.
And like I said, I'm only kind of like half-ass following it, and it's still like story changing every day, but there is a similarity of like, oh, I have bad taste in people to fuck with.
Yeah. You really gotta watch. I'm not gonna even say it because it's just gonna be terrible. I can't bring myself to say that. So she had
that is a little bit alarming considering some of the things you have said on this podcast.
Apparently I found my line to draw. So I don't have a lot left in the story because, like I said, it kind of just ends and there's not really much else to say because it's just not good.
That sucks, though. He, like, resigned. He didn't do anything wrong. Well, he did something wrong, but
he did something wrong, but it was a small thing. Yeah, exactly. That same night, October 9th, she had dinner with, or maybe it was October 8th. I'm losing, like I said, I'm having trouble keeping track of the timeline because they're all over the place. So, shortly after the Facebook video and the interview, she had dinner with Centers and another reporter. So remember, Scott Centers was her fiance slash boyfriend slash manager.
Oh, that's right. They worked together too.
Yeah. So she had dinner with Centers and another reporter. While driving, Athens and Centers got into a fight. Centers kicked Athens out of the car and told her not to return to the news studio. Athens I can't talk anymore.
I was accidentally just looking at his ass again when you said that.
Oh, God.
I was trying to find the other picture that you had put in with the two people, and I was going to ask if that was her fiance. Okay.
No, that was, in that photo with the two people, that's Berkowitz and Athens together after, like, an interview or something.
Oh, that's Berkowitz. I was going to say, she has a type.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's Berkowitz. So, she and Centers get into a fight. Centers kicks her out of the car and tells her not to come to the news studio. She's obviously not making sense and has lost it a little bit. So Athens disregards that request, shows up at the studio where she physically attacks Centers. When the police arrive to remove her from the premises, she attacks one of the officers, punching him in the gut, punching him in the vest, basically.
Wow.
Once in the car, she attempted to kick out the windows.
Wow.
So she was put in full restraints.
She's a nut job.
Mm-hmm. So during her arraignment, this might be one of my favorite things. I don't know why, but it made me laugh so hard when I first read it. During her arraignment, as the judge was telling her that she was barred from the news studio, she interrupted with, "But I report the news every night!"
Not anymore,
honey, no,
bitches.
you don't. Nope. Not anymore, honey. You do not work there. So yes, she was fired.
Good.
I'm not going to go through all of her legal issues in detail, but over the course of a month and a half, she violated her pretrial order and was remanded to a non-criminal facility. She caused problems in a hotel and had to be detained once again. She also had that pending DUI in Las Vegas.
And she had another one
in Anchorage, but that one was settled already. I think it was the prior year, but that one had been settled.
Oh, okay, because you had said October, and I just assumed it was directly before this whole thing happened.
No, it was. I should have been clear about that. That was prior to Las Vegas and prior to all this.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, unfortunately, this is kind of where things end. A lot of articles I read speculated that Athens had a drinking problem and mental health issues, or perhaps was buying into conspiracy theories because it did seem like she was going down that avenue, which, as we know in 2020, was kind of the hot new thing to do, unfortunately.
And that was October. It was right before the election, which is probably the worst time for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's also partly why this story didn't make it too far out of Anchorage. Like, I mean, New York Times definitely reported on it, but it was a small article. I personally don't read the Times very often.
No.
Wow. So, while I don't think she's mentally well, she obviously was very angry at Berkowitz, enough to seek revenge on him in a very fucked up way. His reputation and career are ruined. Her reputation and career are ruined. No one wins. So
yeah, that sucks. And it, you know, I understand it's important to specify if she does have a mental illness, but at the same time I'm like, I have a fucking mental illness and I would never do this.
Yeah.
You know, so I hate that that's an excuse, because you're still responsible for your own reaction to shit. Even if you have a mental illness.
Was it like Pete Davidson always says, like, you being mentally ill is fine, but it's not an excuse for bad behavior?
I like that sentence. I don't know anything about Pete Davidson other than Kanye's a fucking asshole, but
yeah.
I don't.
I mean, he's actually like, but Pete Davidson's actually pretty funny on SNL.
He has
really funny.
I have heard
he
has
does
bipolar
those Chad
disorder, doesn't he?
He does,
which is interesting because isn't that what Kanye West has too?
Yeah, and except that
he's
Pete
also
Davidson
a malignant
is
narcissist.
medicated.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
so
Kanye is a malignant narcissist, and nothing will ever convince me otherwise.
He's perfect the way he is. He doesn't need medication. He absolutely needs medication.
Oh, he is
take your pills
not
and,
okay.
Yeah, take your pills and welcome back to the real world, because what he's doing is not okay.
No, he's been bad for a while, but like the last few months, he has been off the fucking rails.
I mean, I would boost security if I were Kim and Pete.
Did he buy a house like right next to her too?
That's what I heard recently. I haven't really been keeping up with it because he upsets me, and
I hear clips it's just of snippets of information here and there. I thought I'd listen to this news station that's about 15 minutes long every day just to get like the basic gist of what's happening in the world, and they've mentioned a couple before Ukraine happened.
Yeah,
before that started,
he's escalating.
They would talk about him, but then there was like a music video that came out.
Yeah, he put out a music video where he like killing and burying Pete Davidson. Yeah, I heard that too. That's fucked up.
They need to get
this is escalation. I mean, he's escalating so quickly, and this is how true crime stories start. So I hope they're careful.
I mean, we've seen that's what happened to Phil Hartman in some respect, isn't it?
Yeah. His the abuse was overlooked, the mental illness was overlooked, the drug issues were overlooked, and his wife killed him.
Yeah, and she
we
got
lost
weird
a
and
comedic
jealous,
genius, and the world lost somebody who was truly funny.
Yeah.
And apparently
scary.
A really kind person.
I think Athens is on that same trajectory, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Honestly, there were so many articles I read they speculated that she was drunk or that she had an alcohol issue. And there were some that speculated that she was mentally ill, but like there's no way to know, because obviously she's never disclosed something's wrong with her. She doesn't think anything is wrong with her.
Well, and that's the thing, is even if she has a mental illness, the fact that she was drinking to the degree that she was, even recently, even if it wasn't on that specific day, tells me that she probably isn't being treated. Because even though I kept drinking after I got into treatment for my own mental illness, I couldn't, my medication makes it hard for me to have more than a drink or two.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like it's important to say that even if you have a mental illness, that doesn't give you free rein to be an asshole.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Mental illness is not an excuse for your bad behavior.
That sucks.
So, yeah. I
and
want to close this out with something funny, though.
She really didn't do anything.
I mean, I never read a single thing about a quote from her at all. I hope wherever she is doing well and is prospering, because she did not deserve to be dragged into this.
No, I hope they took some time apart. Just to
so.
like fucking let the dust
figuring
settle.
things out.
Yeah, because I don't know how you have to process that something like that. That's abrupt.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It comes out of nowhere. I feel so bad for her. She's truly an innocent victim in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that Berkowitz deserved it, because I don't think he did at all.
No, he
It
just...
was just a miscommunication and a misjudgment from Cookie, and suddenly this whole thing goes out of proportion. But it's just further proof that you got to be careful what you say.
Yeah, you gotta be careful
know...
who you associate with.
Yeah, you got to know who you're talking to and what you're saying before you say it.
When someone shows you who they are,
believe them.
Yep.
So I'm going to close this out with something funny.
Okay.
Like I promised, because this was a lot to go through, and that voicemail was a lot to listen to.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. She sounds angry. So I found some weird laws in Alaska. So you cannot wake a sleeping bear to take a selfie.
That seems
It's
like
illegal.
a good law.
It is a good law, because apparently people were doing this.
I believe that.
Yes, I believe it too. It's really dumb.
Yep, people
So,
are very stupid.
No drunken moose in town. Now, I actually have an explanation for this one.
Did someone get their moose drunk?
Yeah. Repeatedly. So, Fairbanks, Alaska implemented this law to prevent a tavern owner from giving his pet moose alcohol in an attempt to stop the moose's frequent drunken rampages.
Okay, there's so many things. First of all, pet moose?
Yep, pet moose. Tavern owner was getting the pet moose drunk, and the pet moose was doing what moose do and going on a rampage. No unauthorized slingshots must be licensed. So you must license your slingshot.
Interesting.
It is illegal to live in a trailer while it's being hauled. It's just a really random one.
That's a good rule.
It is a good rule, but it's pretty random too.
It is very random.
And this one might be my favorite, and I do have an explanation for it, so don't worry. Don't drop a moose from an airplane. You are not allowed to drop a moose from an airplane.
Okay. Did it have a parachute?
No, but don't worry. Don't worry. I'll explain this to you. So, for 37 years, a small town of Talkeetna, I don't know if I said that right, in Alaska held a moose poop dropping contest. This involved painting moose poo, numbering it, and then dropping it from a helicopter onto a target. But in 2009, the festivities came to a halt when PETA launched a campaign to stop the dropping of a real moose from a helicopter. The entire scenario was a huge misunderstanding as both sides tried to explain what the event was really about. Eventually, the city officials stepped in and stopped the festival by banning both the moose and their droppings from being flung out of a helicopter.
Okay, I've been a vegetarian for 13 years.
Uh-huh.
PETA?
Yeah.
This is not an isolated incident. They fuck so many things up. They're like looking for a fucking thing to fight, and they are embarrassing to me.
Yeah. No, PETA tends to step in and ruin the fun. Like, that is their thing.
Like, there are times when it's justified, but it seems like there's so many times where they invent a problem where there never was a problem before.
How
like
do
this.
they... No, yeah, this is not a problem. You're dropping moose poo from a helicopter, which, by the way, on its own is weird.
It's very
I get that.
weird.
That's weird. But it's innocent. They're not dropping the animal from there.
Shit is not sentient.
No, it's not. It does not have feelings when it hits the ground. So I didn't include this one. But I do remember reading it somewhere that you cannot take a flamingo into your barbershop. I'm assuming it has to do with somebody bringing their flamingo into a barbershop and then just causing chaos.
Like a toy?
But I did remember reading that.
Like a lawn ornament flamingo?
I'm assuming they meant the real thing.
How would there be one there?
I don't know. Somebody kept it as a pet.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. That's it.
I have a question for
Game
you.
over.
You're a city gal, so I'm wondering if you've ever heard of cow patty bingo.
No.
Okay. Let me tell you about cow patty bingo.
Okay.
It is a thing that happens in the country at, like, state fairs, county fairs, where wherever the cows are kept, like, in their pen, they will mark off a bingo board on the ground, right? and wherever the cows shit.
Oh, yeah.
You mark that on your bingo card.
Okay.
And then you play bingo with cow shit.
People need to stop using poop as part of games, is what I'm just gonna say.
I'm gonna say a sentence that I have to say to April, unfortunately, far too often for my own personal liking.
Oh, no. I think I know where this is going.
Playing with poop!
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly where I thought it was going. Yeah. As my therapist said to me...
That dumb little bitch has carried poop around in her mouth before, and I'm like, what are you doing?
As my therapist said to me, a lot of adulthood is being obsessed with somebody else's poop. Or something else's poop.
That is profound.
Yeah! That's something my therapist said to
true.
me today. She said that to me today because I've been, like, talking about Izzy and, like, being freaked out about, like, whether or not her poop is normal. And she's like, you know that most of adulthood is just being obsessed with somebody else's poop.
Yeah, because if you're a parent...
Or your own poop.
Paying attention to poop, your own poop, if you take care of, like, an elder family member or something,
you pay attention to poop. I'm going to quote Scrubs here, but everything comes down to poop.
I think that's a good place for us to end this episode.
I think so.
Do you want to
Should
see where
we
we're gonna
spin
go?
the magic wheel?
Yeah.
Spin the magic wheel.
See where we're going to go next episode.
And I've got my face cup.
All right, let's see where the mystical wheel will take us this time.
Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo.
Yeah! Yeah! She got it!
Woo! Magic wheel, where are we going?
In the words of Arsenio Hall fans, okay, it looks like we're going to a very different part of the country from Alaska. We are going to go to, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, New Canaan, Connecticut?
That sounds about right.
Canaan, yeah. I think
So
that's correct.
we're back in the lower 48.
Yeah,
cool.
And we're over on the east side.
Yeah. From West Philadelphia to
Born and raised.
I don't think they'll ever get boring to me. I love that. All right, so let's find out what we're talking about.
All right.
It is a mystery. We're going to do a mystery.
Ooh, that's fun. I don't think we've done a mystery yet, have we?
Well, technically the first episode was a mystery, but it didn't count because it wasn't like a picked story. It was a chosen story.
That's true.
This is our first organically picked mystery.
It's organically sourced.
Organically grown.
Locally sourced. I'm excited. I guess
fresh
I will see you in a week and we will have a story about New Canaan, Connecticut. I don't know anything about Connecticut at all, except for my friends.
That's where Gilmore Girls takes place.
Oh, that's true. Well, then it must be good.
I'm so excited because Jamie just started watching Gilmore Girls, and I love getting texts from her like in the afternoon, being like, "What is this going on?" Or this person said this. I love it.
I'm in season 2 now, so I didn't just start it, but yeah, I'm a little bit mad at Lorelai right now.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's what I like about Gilmore Girls is that there will be times where you really get mad at people, and you're like, "I really am mad at this character," but I think that's just good writing because you don't want them to be perfect all the time. You want them to, have their faults and kind of be more interesting and
that's why I liked Dawson's Creek too, because you kind of go in and out of hating certain people.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole season where I was pissed at Rory, but that's just me.
Okay, well,
we'll
I'll
talk
let you
about
know
it when
we
you get
there.
Yeah, I think you'll know.
I'm sure I will. We've been on. We kind of think the same way about things.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to hear more about it.
Well,
we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we can hear more about mysteries from New Canaan.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I think it looks like it's a small town, so I hope I can find something.
I think you should be fine.
We'll see.
I'm sure there's been a murder in New Canaan.
That's not a mystery, though, if it's solved.
True crime counts as a mystery.
Only if it's mysterious.
Fine. I don't know what that was.
Oh my god, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah. I'm stopping.
Thank you for listening to the Wandering Chronicles podcast with your hosts, Ashley and Jamie. You can follow us on social media at Wandering Chronicles Pod on TikTok. Wandering Chronicles Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, or WND Chronicle Pod on Twitter. Or you can email us at wanderingchroniclespodcast@gmail.com. New episodes drop every Thursday. If you haven't already, please tell everyone you know to listen to our podcast. Your gynecologist, the head of the PTA at your kid's school, every single telemarketer that calls you, your postal worker, your veterinarian. I bet they listen to podcasts. Hey, thanks. Bye. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
Don't you think my collection's complete?
Collection's complete. Wouldn't you say I'm the girl?
The girl that has...
Girl who has everything.